The gentleness you offer yourself in moments of failure becomes the foundation upon which all future success is built. And that is the thought for today. Welcome to 7 Good Minutes. I'm Clyde Lee Dennis. Thanks for joining me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. In today's episode of 7 Good Minutes, we talk about letting go of yesterday with self-kindness and a fresh start. Enjoy. There's something profoundly liberating about the moment you realize that yesterday doesn't have to define today. Yet so many of us wake up each morning carrying the weight of yesterday's mistakes, regrets, and disappointments like stones in our pockets, growing heavier with each step we take into a new day. What if I told you that self-kindness isn't just a nice idea, but actually the most practical tool you have for releasing the grip of yesterday and stepping fully into the possibilities of today? What if the gentleness you've been saving for others could become the key to your own freedom? We live in a culture that often confuses self-criticism with motivation, believing that if we're hard enough on ourselves about yesterday's failures, we'll somehow perform better today. But research in psychology shows us the opposite is true. Self-compassion, not self-criticism, is what actually creates the emotional safety we need to learn, grow, and make different choices. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to use self-kindness as a powerful tool for releasing yesterday's hold on you, and you'll have practical steps for creating a fresh start that honors both your humanity and your potential. The first step in letting go with self-kindness is what I call gentle acknowledgement. Instead of pretending yesterday didn't happen or beating yourself up for what went wrong, you simply acknowledge what occurred with the same compassion you'd offer a dear friend. You might say to yourself, "Yesterday was difficult. I made some choices I wish I hadn't made. I'm human, and humans make mistakes." This isn't about making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It's about creating the emotional space necessary for genuine learning and growth. When we approach our mistakes with harsh self-judgment, our nervous system goes into defensive mode, making it nearly impossible to extract wisdom from our experiences. But when we approach our mistakes with kindness, we create the safety needed for honest reflection. The second step involves what I call wisdom extraction. Once you've acknowledged yesterday with kindness, you can ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Not, how could I have been so stupid? But what wisdom can I take from this situation that will serve me going forward? Maybe you learned that you need better boundaries, or that you perform better when you're well rested, or that certain environments bring out patterns you want to change. This isn't about dwelling on what went wrong. It's about mining your experiences for the gold of insight that can guide your future choices. The third step is intentional release. This is where you consciously choose to let go of yesterday's energy so you can be fully present for today's opportunities. You might visualize placing yesterday's mistakes in a box and setting it aside, or imagine washing them away in a gentle stream. The specific method matters less than the intention to release what no longer serves you. Some people find it helpful to write down their regrets on paper and then safely burn or bury the paper as a symbolic act of release. Others prefer to simply take 3 deep breaths and consciously exhale the weight of yesterday with each breath. Find what resonates with you, but make it intentional and complete. The fourth step is compassionate commitment. This is where you make a gentle promise to yourself about how you want to show up today. Not a harsh vow to be perfect, but a loving commitment to do your best with what you know now. You might say, "Today I choose to speak more kindly to myself," or "Today I will make decisions from a place of self-respect." This commitment isn't about guaranteeing perfect performance. It's about setting an intention that honors both your growth and your humanity. It's about choosing to be on your own team rather than your own worst critic. The beautiful thing about approaching fresh starts with self-kindness is that it creates a positive cycle. When you treat yourself with compassion, you're more likely to make choices that align with your values. When you make choices that align with your values, you feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, you're more likely to extend that same kindness to others. Self-kindness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the recognition that you are both perfectly human and perfectly capable of growth. It's understanding that mistakes are not evidence of your unworthiness, but proof of your willingness to try, to risk, to engage with life fully. Remember, letting go doesn't mean forgetting or pretending difficult experiences didn't happen. It means choosing not to let those experiences define your worth or limit your possibilities. It means treating your past self with the same compassion you'd want your future self to extend to who you are today. As you move through today, carry with you the truth that every moment offers a fresh start. You don't have to wait until tomorrow or next week or next year to begin again. You can begin again right now, with kindness as your guide and self-compassion as your companion. Your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. When you learn to let go of yesterday with kindness, you're not just freeing yourself from the past, you're creating space for a future filled with possibility, growth, and authentic joy. Today is not yesterday. You are not your mistakes. You are a human being worthy of kindness, especially from yourself. Let that truth be the foundation upon which you build this new day. That does it for today's episode of 7 Good Minutes. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on the platform you're listening on. Until next time, let's be civil to one another out there. Thanks for listening.